Final Fantasy would be on the way following Kingdom Hearts now, wouldn't it? What's up, everybody? StevDeS here. Over 50 subscribers! It felt good. And so I'd like to do a what if for a close friend who honestly pushed me to even get this far, because even though my goal is 10,000, I didn't even think I'd make 10. But he kept pushing me. And pushing me and pushing me. And he came up with a good idea, so why not? Meow! I'm recording! You want to be a YouTube star? Behold! Grumpy Cat II! She is the YouTube star! And so I'd like to do a what if for a close friend that kept pushing me, and honestly I didn't think I'd be doing the what if thing, but once he saw the first one about Vegeta going female, I wouldn't have gotten this far. So he came up with a what if that I thought was interesting, sure, but how interesting? So interesting that I had to re-download Final Fantasy VII to Steam and actually play through the beginning. You know, the only part I actually played of that game. Also, thanks to YouTube's Game Movies, which you can find anywhere on the site, I was able to catch up and make a pretty good facsimile as to what would happen if Zack survived. More specifically, what if the Turks found Zack first? Now this is a consideration because two factions were going after Zack and Cloud. The military to kill them, and the Turks who had the orders to send Zack and Cloud back to Hojo. Which we all know what happened. With Zack passing away full of bullet holes, and Cloud acquiring the Buster Sword of his fallen friend. Who got it from his fallen friend. Who probably got it from some family member who wanted a game of Mahjong. So let's jump right in, shall we? With the military moving in, Zack knows he's gonna have to make a stand. He sets Cloud down where Cloud won't be found and goes to make his stand. But here's where things are different. The military is closing in, sure, but Reno and Rude are the first ones to find the two among the desert. I guess it's easier than I thought to find a needle in a haystack. Rude points out that the military's coming along, so he better hurry up. Rude lowers down a rope ladder for Zack to climb, but Zack yells up that Cloud can't climb because he's kinda Mako poisoned right now. That forces Rude to jump down and help Cloud get on there, tying him to the rope ladder. All the while, Zack is handling the first wave of Shinra troops. He's defending their getaway. Now at this point, you can think that Zack in his mind was probably thinking, I should just be a martyr for my friend, and my friend will be taken care of by the Turks. As far as he knows, he can trust Sung and that one Turk lady. But Zack realizes that Cloud will probably be alone, not understand anything, and he kinda needs to be there for his friend. Not to mention, he wants to know what the other 88 letters Aerith sent says, and what he's missed over these few years. So, at the last second, Zack huffs it and grabs the bottom of the rope ladder, hanging on for dear life, taking on a few bullets, but that's where the Kiraga materia comes in. Thank you, the Restore materia comes in. Cure 3. Cure 3? But don't think Reno was doing nothing throughout that whole thing. That helicopter's got guns. That's why Zack didn't have to worry about the rest of the military, because he was gunning them down. Nothing lethal, just something to stop them from marching. As soon as he reaches Sung's office, that's when Zack reads the 88 letters, and we get a nice scene where Zack is reliving everything through Aerith's eyes and words, and realizing what's gone on since he left. He's very proud that Aerith has gotten the flower business done, and he's looking forward to building a better wagon for them. Because I don't think he can return to Soldier by this point. And since he can't return to the non-existent Soldier, maybe the mercenary plan could go out. He and Cloud could be, duo of mercenaries, raking in the riches whenever he's not helping Aerith with the flowers. However, Sung has different plans. We know Sung to be quite manipulative and quite a smart guy. He might not be the best fighter of the Turks, but he knows how to win someone over with his words. Sung tells Zack that we've got a better proposition for you. If you work for the Turks, we'll pay you, and you can spend all the time you want with Aerith. He's playing to Zack loving Aerith. This was a relationship in the making, Zack and Aerith. And sure enough, he's on board. He doesn't see anything wrong with this. At this point, like I said, he trusts the Turks. But StevDeS, the Turks' mission was to send them to Hojo. Don't they care about the doctor? Well, no. They care about the last living Cetra a hell of a lot more than that windbag that wants to perform experiments. If they can just have a reliable bodyguard in place to hold on to the Cetra, then they can do whatever they want. They have free reign to make the Turks better than they were before. And focus on something a little more important than defending one girl who likes to go to the church, plant flowers, and sell them. Not in the Turks' best interest. Zack pauses for a moment after considering everything. Yeah, this is great! I get to spend time with Aerith, we get to fill our wallets by putting flowers all over the slums. This is gonna be up! What about Cloud? Cloud is still a thing. And Zack just traveled halfway across the country defending this guy who was suffering from Mako poisoning. He means something to Zack. They're friends. They're both country boys. So, what does that mean for Cloud? Zack has to make sure, and this is where he takes his stand, that Cloud does not fall into Hojo's hands. If they want Zack, they're gonna give Cloud up. It's not the first time the Turks have decided the target escaped. Naturally, Cloud gets to live on. And by this point, Cloud is conscious. Cloud's still a little woozy, sure, but he's conscious. Zack comes out of Sung's office and approaches Cloud, telling him to uphold his dream of becoming a good mercenary. Well, how is Cloud going to do that? Doesn't really have much of a weapon, other than his fists. Well, that's when Zack pulls out a nice trinket from his soldier days. I'm not talking about the Buster Sword, I'm talking about the second-class soldier sword that he uses through the beginning part of the game, before he gets Angeal's Buster Sword. This way, Cloud has his own moveset. Keep in mind that all of his limit breaks, finishing touch, Omni Slash, the Blade Beam, Cross Slash, Clem Hazard, or Climb Hazard, depending on how you pronounce it, those were Zack's. He's gonna have his own limit breaks now, and that definitely changes how people keep Cloud in the party. Cloud comes up with his own limit breaks, like Soldier Bolt! He might be more of a red mage. Let's say he's good at about everything. And with that sword, Cloud goes on to start Final Fantasy VII, working with Avalanche. After some time, Cloud decides to join Avalanche because he knows by now what Shinra was trying to do to him and how bad Dr. Hojo is. Cloud's his own man. So he's not really living based on the memories of Zack and coupled with the future memories that he's making now. Here, we see him as an active soldier against Shinra, even though he's an ex-soldier. After a few good missions, I think that's when Cloud would get approached by a man with a machine gun. Cue the music. Okay, that's enough. I don't want the copyright to kick in. After being approached by this man with a machine gun for an arm, Cloud is more than happy to join Avalanche full time. Yeah, he just kinda wants to screw over Shinra. He knows what Shinra did, so gladly, this new Cloud would be more than happy to help Avalanche with whatever it is. What is it? They just want to blow up some Mako reactors? Mako. It's Mako. Mako! It's Mako! Look, how about I just flip between them as I talk about it? Honestly, it's not said much in this script, so you'll be happy, I'll be happy. Good. And I don't want any talk about how it's Aerith. I say Aerith. Aerith! Aerith! It's Aerith! The events of Final Fantasy VII play out as per usual, but with just a couple of changes. Cloud is a little bit more accepted by Avalanche, he's got more of his own personality, he's got his own limit breaks, and everything pretty much happens the same up until the church. The church is the big turning point as far as Final Fantasy VII, bridging with Crisis Core. The first change is we don't get Reno and the Shinra troops because the Turks know that Zack has Aerith. They're fine. They're just gonna bide their time until maybe something happens and they're able to secure Aerith without much of an issue. Instead of Reno, Cloud meets Zack and Aerith, and you remember the scene where Cloud was out cold and talking to Zack in his head and Aerith was there? Yeah. It's now just a full-on conversation. Zack and Aerith get Cloud to his feet, and Zack realizes who it is. So does Cloud. They have a nice meeting as far as that's concerned, and Cloud finally gets to meet the woman of Zack's dreams. The Cloud then looks around saying he has no idea where he is, and he really should get back to the Sector 7 slums. Aerith and Zack don't mind. They've been out in the slums multiple times, and Zack being a bodyguard, the Turks don't really have to worry about it. Besides, they're filling the slums with flowers and filling their wallets with money. When they get to the playground, Cloud has his memory about Tifa, and all of that goes on to the point that he sees Tifa in the back of the carriage. Zack, being the cavalier knight he is, decides to help Cloud out. After all, saving a damsel in distress is Zack's calling card. When they get to Don Corneo's mansion, they're not allowed in. They're gonna have to go through the disguise. Aerith comes up with that plan, and Zack just laughs, having the idea of, we gotta pretty you up. You gotta...
Well, Zack, women only. We're gonna have to dress you up, too.
Babe, you are not serious, are you?
Oh, I'm very serious.
Damn it. Naturally, Zack wins his squatting competition effortlessly. I mean, that's all this guy does when he's not on a mission. With all that soldier training, Zack's got a leg up. When it comes down to Cloud, though, he's got a little bit tougher of a time of it. And naturally, Cloud does win. Yeah, with Zack and Aerith cheering him on and telling him he can do it, he just barely slides in. Zack, having some intel provided by the Turks about this part of the slums, he kinda knows how Don Corneo operates. So when it comes down to the tiaras, everything else goes just fine. They get the sexy cologne, they get everything as far as that's concerned. But when it comes down to the tiara, Cloud gets the diamond tiara. I think you all know where I'm going with this. And Zack just deals with a plain old glass one. The reason why is because Zack knows that Don Corneo is a pervert, and he doesn't want Aerith anywhere near it. He's got to make Cloud the prettiest woman, and Cloud's gullible by this point. He's like, okay. I mean, I just want to get this done and find out why Tifa's in there. I don't care. We get the group sneaking into the dungeon basement area where Tifa's being held, and Tifa sees Cloud, thrilled to see him, but still laughing because he's dressed as a woman. And laughing even more because Zack is dressed as a woman as well. Oh my god, a guy she hates is right there, dressed as a pretty girly. Of course, Zack doesn't take this line down. He's just, yelling at her like, hey, we're here to save you. Why are you even here? That's when Tifa reveals that she's doing undercover work for Avalanche. Don Corneo knows too much, and he knows something he shouldn't. So she needs to know what it is. Sure enough, we get the scene where Don Corneo is picking Cloud, and the other three get sent into the room of perverts, where all of the perverts don't last more than 5 seconds. As soon as Zack pulls that Buster Sword out, he's ready to swing it. Zack, Aerith, and Tifa get to Don Corneo's room, and this is where things change slightly. Don Corneo is, cornered on the bed, kind of worried for his life, and all three of them take a knee pose like they do in the game, with a bit of a twist. Zack is standing by the door. He's not interested in what Avalanche has to offer, and Aerith's just going along, helping Cloud. She's always super friendly like that. Then, when Don Corneo flips his switch and sends them to the sewer to fight the abomination, that's when Zack is left behind. Oh crap, Aerith just went down there. Instead of jumping down there, he just heard about the Turks' idea to drop the plate of the slums on top of Avalanche. That's not good. So he has to make a choice here. Okay, Cloud's with Aerith, Tifa's with Aerith. I think they can handle it. They can totally handle it. I'll just report to Sung, and then I'll go stop him. He needs to do the hero work. This has been a long time coming, and he needs to stop Shinra from completely destroying Avalanche. That's when Zack runs off to go help because, by this point, again, he knows how the slums work. And by helping Avalanche, he knows Cloud will come eventually, and Aerith will be with Cloud and Tifa. He trusts his friend. Barrett meets Zack. Zack tells him about their plan, and Barrett already knows. He's going to regroup with Avalanche, and they're all going to stop the Turks right now. That's where Zack is shocked. Why are the Turks doing this? This is Shinra's matter. Shouldn't they be sending, like, the military or something? There's something wrong here. Well, yeah, Zack, you were played. So, Zack and Barrett go to back up Avalanche, and they try to fight for the Sector 7 slums. And this is where we're stopping things for right now. So what do you all think? Do you think that Barrett and Zack are gonna make a difference? I wanna hear that thought in that poll up top. Do you think anyone from Avalanche survives because Zack is part of the equation now? Will Wedge survive? Biggs? Jesse? Maybe all of them survive. Go ahead and vote in that poll. I'm interested to see. I highly doubt 2 of them would survive. That just seems like a middle ground, a gray area. So that's why the poll is constructed the way it is. Either way, Zack's part of the scenario now. And what does that mean for everybody? Well, we'll have to see if I get around to a part 2. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and if you want to see some more video game what-if-ery, like maybe if Overwatch and Manco set aside their differences and actually worked together, the realms of possibility are infinite with what-ifs. Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!